Is it on? Oh, okay. I'd like to call to order this Wednesday, May 28th, 2025 meeting of the site plan review and appearance board. It's been a minute. Can we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Linda Perdeau is absent. Cynthia Lloyd is absent. Christina Morrison.
Here.
Jose Alvarez.
Here.
Wensky Villanois.
Here.
Robert Lewis.
Here.
Annette Gray.
Here. Okay, are there any changes, additions, modifications to tonight's agenda?
No changes to the agenda.
Can I get a motion?
A motion to approve.
Second.
As is, right.
We have a first and a second?
Linda Perdeau and Cynthia Lloyd are absent. Christina Morrison.
Yes.
Jose Alvarez.
Yes.
Wensky Villanois.
Yes.
Robert Lewis.
Yes.
Annette Gray.
Yes. We have one set of minutes from January 22nd, 2025. Do we have any changes, modifications, or deletions from that set of minutes? No? All good? Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Call roll, please.
Linda Perdeau and Cynthia Lloyd are absent. Christina Morrison.
Yes.
Jose Alvarez.
Yes.
Wensky Villanois.
Yes.
Robert Lewis.
Yes.
Annette Gray.
Yes. Agenda item 4, swearing in. At this point, anyone who will be speaking on tonight's agenda or public comments, please rise and be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. Please be seated.
Okay, so the quasi-judicial rule by which this meeting is held. This hearing shall be conducted in accordance with the City of Delray Beach quasi-judicial rules. The applicant and the city shall be permitted to present their case. The public shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes each, or a maximum of 6 minutes if the person represents an organization or a group of people who are present but agree not to speak. The city commission, board, staff member, and the applicant may be allowed to cross-examine a witness. The city or the applicant will be allowed to offer rebuttal testimony. The decision to approve or deny an application or appeal may not legally be made upon personal views as to whether a project is a good project or not, nor may a decision be based on the numbers of citizens who support or oppose a particular project. The law requires that all decisions must be made on the basis of whether the project meets the requirements of the law, the comprehensive plan, the land development regulations. Okay, so that leads us to, public comments. Are there any public comments on any items that are not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. That leads us to our only agenda item, correct? If you could present for the city, please. Thank you.
So, state for the record, Susie Rodriguez, Senior Planner. I would like to enter file number 2025-148 into the record. This is for agenda item 8A, which is the amendment to the Atlantic Crossing Master Sign Program, specifically for Phase 1, Buildings 1 and 3. The applicant is here today to present.
Good afternoon. My name is Anna Manresa. I am with Amazing Signs, and we are here representing Hyde Park and Gabrielas.
And I'm sorry, before you continue, are there any ex parte communications regarding this project?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you. Please proceed.
I am here asking for this sign on the canopy. It's only, let's see here, 15 square feet on each side, on each side of the of the restaurant on the side of 7th on the canopy. The canopy is an existing canopy already. All we are going to do is add the signage one on each side. Basically, here we go, how it's illuminated and how it's mounted onto the existing canopy. As you can see, it's going to be facing both ways. This is the blade sign for Gabriella's, 7.5 square feet, non-illuminated, and it's basically directing the traffic in the walkway. Directional is more of the purposes for these signs. Aesthetically, they were designed to meet the center and comply with the colors and everything already on the building. That's it.
Thank you.
Where do we go?
Do you want to bring it back up?
So again, this is for the amendment.
Sorry, are you done, ma'am?
Yes.
I think this was it. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
So again, this is for the amendment for the master sign program for Atlanta Crossing, specifically Phase 1. The property is located in the CBD Central Core Subdistrict, and the development approved in 2013 consists of retail, restaurants, offices, and residential units throughout multiple buildings. The development is currently being constructed in 2 phases. Phase 1 has been recently completed with 4 buildings. The original master sign program for Phase 1 was approved in 2021, and there have been few modifications since to accommodate some of the new tenants. The following was established for the tenant signage. Corner tenants can get 1 sign on each frontage. Front and rear access get 1 sign on both frontages, and then the internal tenants can either have 1 wall sign or 1 projecting sign. All signs are governed by the LDR section 467E. Some of the unique tenants that have deviated from the typical tenant standards were approved for additional or larger signages, and they are as follows. So Merrill Lynch, formerly Bank of America, has 2 wall signs on the west and south elevations for Building 1. Lake Colonial was approved for 2 wall signs on the west elevation and awning signs on the northwest and south elevation. Chico's has 1 wall sign, 1 projecting sign along Atlantic Ave. Hampton Social was approved with 1 wall sign on the west elevation, 1 awning sign for the main entrance, and 1 projecting sign on the south elevation of Building 3. Signage that complies with the master sign program can be reviewed and approved administratively. So, for example, Hyde Park has 2 wall signs, 1 on each frontage. This was approved via permits, and Gabriella's has 1 wall sign on the southeast corner of Building 3. This was also approved via permit. Another one also is Lily Pulitzer. They also were approved via permits. Amendments to the master sign program are only required when a tenant is wanting to do more than what is allowed in the master sign program, so either having more signage or larger signage. So today the request you see is for 2 tenants to have additional signage. Hyde Park, which is located in Building 1 as the east tenant, they're requesting to do 2 additional signages on the previously approved aluminum canopy, 1 on either side of the canopy. And then Gabriella's, the east tenant in Building 3, is requesting 1 additional projecting blade sign that will be located between Building 1 and 3 in that pedestrian walkway. So the intent of a master sign program is for these larger scale developments where the city standards may not result in ineffective signages, and adjustments to the provisions are approved for the development while still maintaining the character of the community and neighborhood. The city LDR does not have language that prevents diversity and creativity of the individual signages in the master sign program. SPRAB does have the authority to take action for master sign programs and any amendments. So the aesthetic quality that must be considered to ensure visual harmony with the structure and surroundings. Is the signage considered garish? Is it inappropriate in scale and size and location? Is the quality of that of a professional appearance? Typically, master sign programs create a uniform standard for the signages, but after the Delray Beach shoppability analysis done in 2018, it was noted that downtown should have more unique and non-uniform signage, which you can see already existing in Atlantic Crossing. So this board should consider if the proposed signages are not only harmonious and in good taste with the development, but also the overall vision for the downtown area. These are your board motions, and this concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to speak on this item? Seeing none, moving on. Are there any cross-examinations or rebuttals from either side?
No, not for me.
Okay, so I move to the board. We can start with Mr. Villeneuve.
I don't have anything against it, as long as it matches with the colors and it's very aesthetically pleasing. I don't see an issue with it. And granted that there's other commercial area that have gained access to have those kind of signage.
Ms. Morrison?
Are either tenants giving up any signs to get these signs, or they're just additional signs?
It's additional signage.
So Hyde Park Steakhouse is going to have 4 signs?
So they have the 2 that is allowed on each frontage,
Yeah.
since they're a corner tenant, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
this is for an additional 2 on the canopy.
And if I can make a comment?
Not at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gabriella's I have no problem with, but Hyde Park already has a bunch of signs. That's the only reason I'm questioning it. 4 signs for 1 tenant. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Alvarez.
I have no problem with the signs as long as there's. Is it consistent with some of what the other tenants are doing in terms of the number of signage? Like maybe Le Colonial, like, you know, are they kind of like the same amount or approximately?
So of what was approved, like for Lake Colonial,
Mhm.
Colonial, they have 2 wall signs that are just on the west elevation, and that, as it was an amendment because they were only allowed to have 1 on that elevation. So that was an amendment to have an additional one, and they also do have an awning sign on that side too. So that is on, for one example, that Lake Colonial does have multiple signs on that one frontage. For any other ones, Hampton Social, you can see that they
Yeah.
have wall signs, awning signs, and projecting signs, but they are on different sides, one being on the west elevation, one being on the south elevation. Chico's also, just as an internal tenant, they have 2 signs, which was only allowed to have 1. So those are a few examples.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's, I guess in my opinion, it's hidden enough, or it's subtle enough as part of the canopy, the entrance canopy, that it's not a major concern. So I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay, last but not least, Mr. Lewis.
I don't have any problem with it.
Okay, so that brings it to me. while I do understand the need for diversity in the signs, I do have a concern about the number of signs per property. So clarify for me. I was struggling with identifying where the 4 signs would be. Again, simply because you stated that La Colonial had 2, they're spaced out enough for it not to look cluttered and also present a future issue in terms of future requests as well. So I didn't do a very good job in identifying how the signs show up on the building.
Okay, so for example, Le Colonial, this one, there's one signage right here and the one signage right here. Those are those 2 signage, so you can see the separation that they've had in there. For Hyde Park, they will have one sign there's a tower element that's right here, similar to on the other side. It would be on one side right there, one side right there, and then lower to the ground, closer to the actual sidewalk, there's a canopy that comes out, and that's where it would be located right here. I don't know if you can see the mouse.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's why I was struggling, because they are somewhat all clustered right at that corner, which gives, I think, an advantage for vehicular traffic, and I suspect that's the impetus for this. So I am a no on Hyde Park, but I am okay with Gabrielle.
Okay, and they are as separate motions.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, that being said, can I get a motion for this item?
Could you switch?
So I cannot make a comment anymore?
No, ma'am.
No? Oh, jeez. Okay.
So I just had a point. If everybody in this property gets 4 signs, it's going to be, and now that we're tentatively considering 4 signs for Hyde Park, won't it look really cluttered and really not what we want for Delray Beach?
Well, that would be for the board's consideration, to decide whether or not this is the direction that they would want to go for the master sign program. Again, the 4 signs is specific to Building 1, the east tenant. It's not that all of them would be able to have 4 signs. It's just specific to this tenant in this building. But again, it's up to the decision of the board if they deem it cluttered or if it's in harmonious with the entire structure.
Is it normal, once you have a master sign program approved, to come back and alter it like this? Is this considered normal?
Yes, so specifically with Atlantic Crossing, this is the 3rd amendment that it's gone through. And they will be coming soon with phase 2, so there will be soon additional language with the master sign program to include phase 2.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes,
Go ahead.
would this be setting like a precedent? I mean, could every other person or going up in the next building facing that walkway and everything, could they also ask for this number of signs if we approve one?
Each request would be reviewed separately, so if this is approved now, later on if a different one will come in, they will have to go through the same application process and be reviewed by the board, just the same.
And I know our legal
Here he goes.
is itching to.
I don't know. The answer to that question is usually that every piece of property is unique.
Mm-hmm.
Each tenant space is going to be unique. This is a corner tenant compared to an interior tenant, those types of things. So, as Ms. Rodriguez correctly answered the question, each application will stand on its own. So, just because one tenant had 4 signs, and you can see, even though the number of signs might be similar to a different tenant, the way they have them spaced, their location, it's a different application. So.
Yes. Once a master sign program is established, any amendment to it must come before the board, and the board has the authority to deviate from the code within the authority. This is kind of like the relief. So increasing the number of signs, increasing the size of the sign is subject to the board consideration and approval. but it must come, any amendment must come before the board to the master sign program, once established.
Okay, in that case, move denial of the amendment to the Master Sign Program 2025-148 for Atlantic Crossing to accommodate the additional 2 canopy signs on the east facade of the east corner tenant in Building 1, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse, by finding that the request does not meet the criteria set forth in the land development regulations.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Can you call roll, please? Okay, Linda Perdue is absent. Cynthia Lloyd is absent. Christina Morrison?
Yes.
Jose Alvarez?
This is motion for denial?
Denial, so a yes is denying.
No.
Wensky Villanois?
No.
Robert Lewis?
Yes.
Annette Gray?
Yes.
Move approval of the amendment to the Master Sign Program 2025-148 for Atlantic Crossing to accommodate the additional 1 blade signage on the south facade of the east corner tenant in Building 3, Gabriella's Modern Italian, finding that the request meets the criteria set forth in the land development regulations.
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Can you call roll, please?
This one is motion to approve.
Mhm.
Okay. Linda Perdue is absent. Cynthia Lloyd is absent. Christina Morrison?
Yes.
Jose Alvarez?
Yes.
Wensky Villanois?
Yes.
Robert Lewis?
Yes.
Annette Gray?
Yes.
We're going to be out by 5:30.
Is there a possibility of coming back to revisit this? Because
Can I just mention, this is going to the appealable report of the City Commission agenda of June 17. So the board decision could be appealed by you.
because
Just,
my concern is I
And
didn't,
I will defer to the legal counselor to confirm this.
we failed to recognize that this is the entrance to the restaurant,
So
where the signs are gonna be located above the canopy.
D is correct. Any decision that would be final is appealable to City Commission. It will be on appealable land use report as well, as was indicated, so you'll need to review the land development regulations and look at your potential options to seek relief.
Okay, I'll let him know.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. Okay, any reports? Staff reports?
No reports, but there are some announcements. Just would like to highlight the e-services is here. So it will be launched June 17th. So we'll go electronic, full electronic, everything, submittals, documents, comments. There is also a meeting on June the 2nd at 2 p.m. at City Hall for an in-person meeting to learn more about the city's digital permitting and licensing system. So everyone is welcome. So Q&A, introducing the new system, so to the community and the industry. So put this on your calendar if you're interested. And there is also, I think Rochelle provided to us like just a handy copy of the Code of Ethics for just reference, like keep for your records, a practical guide, a small one. Thank you.
Thank you. Any reports or comments from the board attorney? Thank you. How about board members?
Just for clarification, I received in the email a financial disclosure form that I think was we already submitted one at the beginning of our term. Do we need to resubmit?
I defer to the legal counselor.
I do believe it's an annual
Annual?
submission, so you will need to do it every year.
No problem.
Any additional board comments? All right, that being said, I move adjournment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
That was spam, so I don't. I was so afraid before I